it is in the contract, a legal requirement every single time we appear on camera, just making sure the lawyers are happy that they have seen 2 biceps right there. It is not 4 biceps. That is not an illusion that you're seeing. There is actually 2 biceps there. Making sure the lawyers are happy and everyone has seen what they needed to see when they loaded up the stream. The co-owner, the co-founder, the co-host, the co-breather of air, the co-wearer of clothes in this very room, it is none other than the King of Sting, the Master of Disaster, the Count of Monte Cristo. It is Thunderlips, the ultimate male. It is none other than the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award. It is somewhere. You'll have to come up with something. You can't just keep holding up a Windex bottle.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to hold up a stapler for a reason. I don't, it is none other than
the Mouse of Glory.
That's right. It is your friend and mine. It is Dave Stockbridge. Welcome to the Arm Wrestling Tonight show.
Thank you very much for that very, very warm welcome, as always, Hollywood. Matt Connolly, it's a joy to be with you on Arm Wrestling Tonight. That is your 5-night a week, half-an-hour dose of arm wrestling, where we profile some of the best up-and-coming talent in the arm wrestling world and introduce some of the big names of tomorrow. And one of those men is here with us tonight. Tyler Harrison has been impressing us with his improvement over the last 12 to 18 months. He was under the tutelage of Lachlan Adarnas. More recently, he's grown out of that and is now adapting new techniques, new styles, and incorporating even more training into his regime. He continues to rise in the ranks and featured most recently at our AWE Grand Prix in October. There is some talk of some super match action coming up very, very soon for the young man on screen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed Tyler Harrison. Look at that. Very, very impressive. And impressive it has been your form of late and certainly your improvement over the last 12 to 18 months. We were only talking about this last night where it seemed like maybe 18 or so months ago, we Matt or myself could be, very competitive with you on the table, but those days have well and truly gone, making Matt and I feel well and truly like yesterday's men. But very, very proud to but very, very proud to see you and your staggering improvement over the last 12 or 18 months. And what do you attribute that improvement to?
Well, I'd attribute it to, like you said, I was being coached by Lachlan Adair for about 16 months, give or take. And my gains just skyrocketed. The exercises he had me doing, like the specificity of them. It's not really anything I had done before. So I think that carried over to the table massively for me. And critiquing my table time as well. So I'd send him videos and he'd help my technique. And it was just a snowball effect and just progress for me. And as well as cleaning up my diet a lot, I've been a lot stricter with it, and that's definitely helped. I've lost some weight as well, so that's handy.
And what are you weighing now?
I'm in the morning, 98. Yeah,
right.
97.9, so 98. So,
mm-hmm.
Aiming to kind of get below 95, I'd say.
I was going to ask, is this part of a goal to get to a certain weight category, or do you have an opponent in mind at around that weight class? Because you did weigh in heavier at AWE Grand Prix at a little over 100 kilos.
Yep. No, I'm aiming to get just below 95 would be optimal for me. I feel better at that weight, and I feel like I could be more competitive in that sort of weight class.
It was a real joy to introduce you here at AWE Grand Prix and showcase a local talent like yourself. You really emerged into this. There was originally we had planned a tournament beforehand. You were the last man standing in some respects. You were there at the end of the day, earned your spot in the top 8, and drew Rickett Borman first and foremost. Is this the first time that you've pulled Rickett in competition?
Yeah, it was. Yep. No, he's very strong. What else can I say? He just destroyed me. is prodigy, very strong guy.
And so after that, obviously, if you're the 8th seed, number 1 seed, it's meant to be a little bit easier for you. You don't ordinarily expect to come through that first round with a victory. But so what was your game plan coming into this, knowing that was likely to be a defeat, regardless of who was seeded number 1?
Against Rickard, well, there was not really much I could do, let's be honest. But I tried to slip round 1, and that was a bad idea. He just held on to my thumb and just straight to the pad, which just to be expected. And round 2, I just no point trying to slip again. I should have asked him for the straps, but it wouldn't have made much difference, I wouldn't imagine. But I tried to hold on and get some kind of hook in round 2, but he's just too strong.
Yeah, and so what was your game plan after that? Not against necessarily Rika, but for the rest of the tournament.
Game plan after that. Well, once I figured out who my next opponent was, I know his pronation and back pressure was massive, so I wanted to set up really high against Charles and kind of come crashing down into a hook. Yeah, and it worked in some respect. Like, I got a little bit of a stop, but again, he was just a little bit too strong for me.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, I mean, Charles has been for some time now the number 2 guy in New Zealand, behind Mataringi, the Beast, Head of Morris, who has not been defeated in New Zealand for over a decade now. And so, the fact that you're here and on the table with these guys, how did that actually feel? You're really hanging with the best in the Southern Hemisphere here at this tournament.
It's a very good feeling, like knowing that my training is paying off and I'm getting these opportunities. It's
so close, man. You did hold your pronation. I've got to talk through this here.
Let's run through the man that was on the mic on the night.
Yeah, so you can see here, Tyler. Looks like you're wanting your hand real high with a top roll position. He's got the better of the start there, but you do slow it down right there and you keep your pronation. And I thought maybe you've got something here. You might have been able to hold and pull through the fingers in this direction. But you can see there, that was the difference. He turned that cup in too far for you. I tried coming in more to use a bit more side pressure, but he was too far out in my fingers, so I just had no purchase with cupping anymore. Yeah, absolutely.
He got a good position on me, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was a good round. You could see you were really in it. You were that close to pulling through.
And after your performance at this event, do you now feel even more inspired that you might be just a little bit closer than you anticipated to that, maybe top 10 in the country? You might just be biting at their heels now.
Oh, certainly, yeah. Yep. No, it's good to kind of feel the level and see where everyone's at and actually compete in a professional sense, like in that sort of size of competition. It was an awesome experience for me. I'm very grateful for it.
We were very happy to have you there, and we did have a 4-man round robin scheduled to take place before the 8-man tournament to fill in that 8th position, because we had some people that had pulled out in the last minute, and so we created this 4-man because I think David said, look, do you know anyone local that would be good? And I thought, well, there's 4 guys I think would actually, all 4 of these guys deserve a shot. And I was like, well, why don't we get them to go off against each other, and then the winner of that can actually win the spot. We didn't end up having the opportunity to do that because on the day before, we had 4 people pulled out the day before the event.
The rest of them.
What did you do to those people exactly, Tyler? Like, what was that?
Well, just slip something in their drink while they're not looking.
Little envelopes just left beneath under their door. So when they wake up in the morning, just a quiet warning that maybe not be going into town that day for whatever reason.
Stay back. I have more laxatives.
It was a real shame because we've actually got 4 medals that we never got the chance to give away that are all emblazoned with Grand Prix too. That there was no one to give them away to. So maybe we should just give them all to you. Maybe that's the best way to go about it. And the man on screen at the moment, there have been some rumors that there's been some discussions years, and maybe even some plans that this the man on screen right now, Alex McKinnon, the dragster, is shaping up to be maybe an opponent for you sometime in 2025.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Mid
how
year.
did that come about?
Well, the first time I pulled Alex was at the first AWE event we had in the after pools, and him and I were very balanced. Like we pulled the same. The strength was close. Like I was getting pins, he was getting pins. So even way back then, I was like, that could be a very fun match for me. Like stylistically as well, just come in the hook and yeah, very enjoyable. And yeah, I've chatted to him over the years as well. Like, well, like to have a match, and tossed around the idea. And I pulled him again at AWE Grand Prix, and yeah, again it was very close. Yeah, he sounds like he wants the match. I definitely want it. So,
He is injured at the moment. Otherwise, I think it would have happened
yeah,
much
I know.
earlier in the year. But it looks like in his mind, you're a big part of his desire to recover quickly and get strong again. Knowing that there's this little Mount Everest in front of him right now called Tyler Harrison. So it's great. I'm sure you're motivating his recovery there.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm glad about that. Yeah,
And
he
for
certainly seems
international,
keen for it.
sorry, mate, what was that?
He certainly seems keen for the match.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think stylistically, yeah, it's likely to be a war. As soon as you
Yeah.
both get into into a hook, it's going to settle in there, and I can just see it's just going to be a war of attrition. Whoever just happens to hang in there the longest is going to be the one that walks away with the win.
Who has the grit?
Who has the grit? We're going to find out sometime in 2025. And for our international guests, maybe you can tell us a little bit about where you live, your part of the world. It's a rural setting, isn't it?
Yeah, I live in South Australia, a little town called Goolwa, near Victor Harbour. There's probably more people know where that is. Yeah, it's just a small-ish little town, and I've lived here most of my life. I love it. Yeah.
So you really travel a long way to get to training. So I mean,
Yeah.
you down at Galway, the training is on the other side of our capital city, Adelaide, which that's about 100 kilometres drive, about 60 miles.
Yeah, probably coming on that. Yeah, it takes me about an hour and a quarter to get there from where I am.
So yeah, so it's a 2.5 hour round trip plus your training.
Yeah,
It's
correct.
really when you decide to go to training, it's 5 or 6 hours, gone.
Yeah.
And I mean that's tremendous discipline and dedication. And there wasn't always this promise of a professional career or anything. You really
No.
started just as somebody who loved the sport, and you were willing to spend almost half your Sundays just to get to training.
Yeah, no, correct. No, I've always, since I started arm wrestling, I've wanted to kind of climb to the top. It's always been an aspiration of mine. I've just only the past sort of 2.5 years taken my training more serious because I was of the mindset of, I have a hard labor job. That's enough training. And then I do table time on the Sundays, but it's just not enough in the end. You need to do the specific stuff to progress, obviously.
Yeah, and I guess
yeah,
that it sounds like you realised that was a chink in your armour, and you were able
yeah,
to just really bolt in Lachlan Adair and
yeah,
his
correct.
advice and fill those gaps in your weakness. And from now, what do you perceive your weaknesses to be? What are you working on? And we know you as the Hitman, of course, because you've got that tremendous power straight off the line. But
Yeah.
are there any other chinks in your armour that you're working on at the moment?
The main thing I'm putting a lot of volume into in the gym at the moment is my cup, biceps, and side pressure are kind of my focus at the moment. So I feel like my wrist flexion is an issue, especially against taller opponents, because obviously I've got small little baby hands. So yeah, I can't quite get around them, so I need to be a little bit stronger with containment and cup to reel the taller guys in. And yeah, biceps to hold, because I seem to get ripped out here a lot, so I need a lot of bicep strength to hold there, and yeah, side pressure just to get through and even work into a press. Yeah, those are the three main things I'm focusing on specific wise, and then I obviously do my general training like bench press, overhead press, stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
we
it-
saw a
Sorry.
great win leading up to the tournament against Stretch, who is on the screen there.
Yep.
Although this is just a training pool that you've got here, you did have a fantastic win against the man who was 150 kilos at the time. And I think he was the heavy favorite. Well, not the heavy favorite, but he was the favorite we thought going into that. But you were able to turn him inside and outlast him and get through.
Yep. No, that was a fun match. I loved that match. It was a tough fight though. Like, yeah, that destroyed me for months after. Like my brachialis, even coming up to the Grand Prix, I was slightly injured doing the brachialis from Stretch months later.
Wow.
So, yeah, he did a number on me, but I'm glad I squeaked the win out.
Yeah, it had a literal giant hanging off your arm though, so it's
it felt like it. It felt like it. He's a big dude.
He is, absolutely. We'll see if I can find that match. But that was one of the things that really highlighted the fact that we wanted you to take part in the Grand Prix too, because it was like, wow, you know, we had Stretch in the tournament. He was one of the people who pulled out, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, if you've won the match against him, also Les Porter had a win leading up to the event as well, so he was part of that 4-man round robin. How do you think that would have gone? We had Hamza Hodzic, yourself, Les Porter, and Stephen Carroll were in that 4-man round robin.
And I think that would have gone.
Yeah,
I'd like to say that I'd win. Obviously, I'd like to say that, but it would be tough. I think I'd get through Stephen with. You know, it would be fairly hard, but I think Stephen is achievable for me. Lass as well. I think it'd be very close with Lass and I, especially with the hand. But I think I would have had the horsepower to maybe chip through eventually. Yeah. Judging off what training has been with him, been like with him the past, months leading up to it. Harms is a problem, as you know. Yeah.
Hamza, yeah.
He's a strong dude, Hamza. Yeah, that would be a tough one. That's questionable.
Would have been so good. He was another one that had to pull out the night before. Man, it was
poisoning or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Man, Taryn got sick the day before. Hamza, Brett Coots, everyone had fallen out in the last minute.
Yeah. And with that event, how cool was it to see your face in the on the advertiser, which is the big news limited paper here in this part of the world?
Yep, Taryn and I, that was good. It was a cool little thing to go to, have a photo shoot. Not something I've done before.
Taryn got injured from the photo shoot, I believe.
Yeah, he did too, didn't he? His neck or something from looking at the camera.
Yeah, holding the pose for too long.
Twisted up, yeah. Shoulders are too big.
Literally the worst excuse I've ever heard for getting injured. I got injured in a photo shoot.
Right, it happens, I suppose.
There you go.
I mean, he was sick. It wasn't obviously he had sore neck and all the rest of it, which was the onset of a flu, which I think took him out for a week or two.
Yeah, tonsillitis or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he was devastated, but because of that, we were able to put you and Stephen straight into that 8-man tournament without having to run the round robin, which was great for us to be able to showcase your skills and to be able to give you a platform and allow people to see you on the stage. And you've been doing so well with your training and your improvements over especially the last 2 years. As you said, you really took it seriously. We had Lachlan Adair on the other night, and we were talking about your training. I don't know if you saw that one or not, but
I haven't watched that yet. No, I was going to watch that earlier, but I'll probably watch that after this.
Yeah, no, we're just saying. He said that you're not working with him at this point, but he was happy about that because he wants to get people to a point where they're self-sufficient, that they understand what they need to do, and so he was very happy that you'd reached that point, and now you were doing your own style of training or following his methods, but you don't need him over your shoulder, making sure that you're doing the things you know what to do now.
Yeah, not at this time anyway. That in the future I may inquire about his coaching again, because he's an excellent coach, obviously. Like, he's brought me a long way. It's good to have someone overseeing as well, and constant what's the word, variation in your training as well, like 4-week blocks, and then the training changes to something else and different focuses, and it's good to just have someone to keep you accountable and oversee your training. Yeah, it's handy for sure. It's easy to slack off when no one's telling you not to.
Yeah, I was thinking about the cumulative effect of building a brand, and what I've noticed, and one of the impressive things with you, Tyler, is that you've been persisting with social media and always putting out content, always getting stories, and basically making sure that if people are aware of you, that there's every chance that you're going to appear in front of them as well, and which is just fantastic brand building and name brand awareness that you're developing. And I kind of think of that, and then that kind of raises you as a local prospect, and somebody like Matt who is really familiar with you. Then all of a sudden it's like, hey, here's a guy that we've got to give him a go, and then you're on that platform where you're then in the mix with guys like Alex McKinnon, and so that it becomes natural that it's a guy on that level that's your next opponent, and not another club level guy, but somebody else who's also been performing on those bigger stages, and it's really continuing to develop that story about where you're from, what you're doing, and where you want to go. And I guess what is the plan for 2025 so far?
Well, as of the moment, just basically keep training, and then when Alex is ready and there's a date set on that, I'll start peaking in my training and have that match, and then it's essentially whoever gets thrown at me, I'll take on anyone. I'm not too fussed. I don't have anyone in my sights apart from Alex.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
It's interesting now that it is Alex, and it's not like a local guy that you've kind of got your sights set on, but you're now looking to that next caliber of athlete to measure yourself against. So and that's why it's wonderful for us to have seen that progression of your development over the last couple of years, where you're now one of those names that people are hearing and they remember, and for people who do want to find you on social media, is most of your stuff on Instagram?
Yes, most of my stuff's on Instagram. I post it on Facebook as well, but I mainly is it Instagram. Yeah.
And for the spelling of your name, because for some people, it can be a little bit confusing, but it is the TYH. That's
correct.
So if they just got to type it in that way, and you'll be the only one that pops up. That's
no, that is true. No one else has spelled like this.
So you just got to get the TYH out, and you're going to be what pops up. So I'm really going to encourage everybody who's got an interest in arm wrestling to follow Tyler Harrison and his journey as he rises through the ranks, and plans out his match with Alex McKinnon later on this year. But there's the Instagram handle. Head on over there. Support him. You're often putting up training videos and showing people, what it is that you're doing. Geez, that's a good mirror.
It is a good mirror. In the gym bathroom there. Yeah.
It's good lighting. Good lighting. Very vascular there.
Yeah.
It's important to have a good mirror. You've got to find the bathroom with the right mirror.
Yeah, it's the disabled one always.
It is the disabled one. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
It's a bigger room, and it's just better lighting. I don't know why.
And you can lock the door so nobody sees you taking photos. What are you doing in there? Nothing. You're at one of the. Are you still at Anytime Fitness down Victor Way?
Yeah, in Victor. Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
We've got another gym that opened up in Goolwa. It's a 24 fit, but I just don't like it. So I still traverse to Victor for my training, even if I finish late at night, like 8, 9 o'clock. I'm still over there training till like midnight, and then get no sleep, and then work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
No, I'm always training.
Well, here's
I
the
love
match
it.
with you and Stretch. Have a look at this
Yeah.
round. So Stretch has got the top roll. He's pulling hard, but you managed to get the cup in and hold with your bicep, bring it back to the center. He's trying to pull through, but he doesn't have any leverage because he's under the table with an outstretched arm. And you stay nice and close to your shoulder. You're waiting him out here. He's hitting with everything he's got, but there's no weight behind what he's doing. He's trying to scoop forwards. He's kind of a little bit lost there, I think, and you're just very patiently waiting him out.
Chipping through.
And move to the press, and there it is. Good win.
Very good. It was a good win. Yeah. I was kind of going into that match. I knew I had to come forward and cut off his lane with the bicep, because once he gets inside and he's tight, he's so strong.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to dart forward and cut off his lane, but it was very scary to do so because obviously he's a strong dude, and I wasn't sure how strong he was going to be once he's all rested up and in a match mindset. But so it was just a matter of, it was more of a mental thing to just shoot forward as hard as I can. And it was a moment of realization when I kind of looked up at him. I secured somewhat of a position. I looked up at him and I saw that he was redlining as well. I was like, oh, here we go. I might be in with a shot.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got tighter and tighter with side pressure and chipped through with a press.
Absolutely. And here we go again. So you've done a similar thing. You've attacked first, but he's managed to catch it. Now he's sort of stuck in, looks like a very open hand top roll position. But you can see here, he's a tall man. He's gone very horizontal with his arm. So ideally, I would be saying bring that elbow forwards, get your arm vertical again, because, you've got so much of a height advantage.
Yeah.
But, you can see there, you bang straight into that center hook position.
Yeah, he's sort of running out of pad while I'm cutting across and bringing him down.
Yes,
cutting off his angles. But I did make a couple of mistakes in that round. Like I shouldn't have been surging because I was busting my hand open a little bit when I was surging, but I was still strong enough to get through, so that's fine. But looking back on it, that was a foolish mistake. But
well, this is why we have matches.
Had to try, see what happens. But
that's it. Well, this is the third round here. So you've both been working pretty hard. You go to slip and you go into the strap. You've gone in the center again. So, you're just staying tighter than he is. And you can see he's dropping away. His hand is staying where it is, and his body is falling backwards. So ideally, they want to come together.
Yeah.
And if they're not going together, you don't go with your body. But, you're very reminiscent of Lachlan here. Like he holds that spot and then he transitions to a press a lot. And I could see you doing that right then.
Well, it's a good position, especially for me with a shorter arm and smaller hand. I can kind of use my frame to secure my cup and chop to keep him locked down. If I try to come out high, with a short little forearm, I don't have the leverage to really post through anyone. I can create the threat there, and then I'll have a bit of a gap with my pinky, and I'll come flying forward to close them off. That's kind of my strategy.
Yeah, it's been working for you quite nicely. Should we go to the comments, Dave, and see what people have to say about Tyler Harrison?
I think so.
All right. Well, we've got a couple of the classics in. The Drew is always in. He was in within 20 seconds, I think, with the little smiley emoji.
The first one.
That's right. And he did it twice just so that we did notice that he was here. Franch, the siren, the singing arm wrestler, she says hello. And hello. Drew calls her the tormentor of Matt. Phil Woody is in from the UK. Good to see you, Phil. Always a pleasure. Where are we here? Franch is happy to take one of those 4 medals that you still have, Dave.
Yeah, I bet she is.
Yeah, for sure. She can be an honorary Grand Prix medal winner.
There you go. The Drew says, I can still hear Matt scream, go! Even though it's muted. France says, do you know how long it took me to stop jumping when he yelled go? It would make me foul every time.
It is quite loud.
It is. I want you to know when you're supposed to start. There's no questions about it.
Exactly.
Drew says, I can imagine if he could do it on lower tone. I'm not doing that. I'm going to yell quietly.
Nah.
It's an oxymoron. We are go. Ready, go. They're like, what?
Just whisper it into each person's ear.
Have we started? Yes.
Sign language.
Do the now, go. Symbols. Drew's asking where Hamza is. Hamza was scheduled to be on the show this week, but unfortunately he had to go into work early or something. So hopefully get him on next week. But
in other Hamza news, I did see his mum the other day. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's important. I'm sure Drew was wondering if you'd seen his mum recently.
Yeah. As it turns out, they're Hamza's next door neighbours of one of my employees.
Oh, that's right. Right.
Yeah. They grew up next door to each other.
It's a small world, isn't it?
Such a small world.
Drew is asking where Sam Burnett has been. I don't know exactly. I think he may have been dealing with an injury or something. But we haven't seen him for a little while. I think the last time I actually saw him compete was with AWE when he went against Josh Barker, which would have been maybe a year ago at this point.
We have actually reached out to Sam and just to see how he's going and stuff. It seems he's taken a bit of a step back. He's got other priorities at the moment as well, and that happens in life. He was really going to everything for a long time, and it takes its toll on the body as well. So, we wish Sam all the very best. I think his brothers are still active though. Good arm wrestling family. Mum's got lots to be proud of.
Hey.
There you go. And Asher Battersby is getting a reaction from Tyler here. I'm not sure who it is, but you must know who it is.
That's my girlfriend, Asher. Yeah.
Aha. Hello to Asher. And she says, Tyler Harrison for the win with the double biceps there.
My number one supporter.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic.
So was your girlfriend attracted to you because you were an arm wrestler? Was that the
Of course, yeah. Of course.
How can they not be?
That's the only reason. It can't be anything else.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Well, should we look at wrapping things up? We've done just over 30 minutes, and it's been a great conversation. I hope people got to know Tyler Harrison a little bit better. Hopefully you'll see lots of big things from this young man this year coming up. We may see a match with Alex McKinnon, depending on how his recovery goes. But apart from that, we'll be doing our best to put this young man in front of as many screens as possible.
Absolutely, very well said. And Tyler Harrison, any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to share with the world before we go away?
Going down, Alex. Going down, man.
Fantastic. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in again to Arm Wrestling Tonight. We are looking forward to having Jordan Biggie Steffens on the podcast tomorrow night. He is one of Australia's foremost and best known and loved strongmen, and we can't wait to share him with the world that might not be as familiar with him as we are here in Australia. So stay tuned for that tomorrow night. But for tonight, thank you very much to our very special guest, Tyler Harrison. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Muchly appreciated.
And we'll see you all tomorrow night.
Cool.